MMT is known as modern monetary theory. It is an economic theory that says that a country's government can and should print as much money as it needs to fund its spending. MMT has become popular in recent years, especially among crypto investors. The theory goes that if a government can print money, then Bitcoin and other cryptos are also not subject to the same supply and demand rules as fiat currencies. MMT has been criticized by some economists, who argue that it could lead to inflation. However, MMT supporters maintain that inflation is only a problem if the government prints too much money. They argue that MMT could be used to fund things like infrastructure projects and universal basic incomes without causing inflation. Remember to like, subscribe to keep our channel, The Rugged Capitalist, going. Only time will tell whether MMT will become mainstream or remain a fringe theory. But one thing is for sure, it's an interesting idea worth watching. MMT has been gaining traction in recent years as a potential solution to the problems of austerity and stagnating economies. Some economists have even suggested that MMT could be used to fund social programs like universal basic income. While MMT remains largely theoretical, there are some early signs that it could be putting into practice. For example, in 2018, the city of Jackson, Mississippi announced that it would begin issuing its own cryptocurrency, called JXN, which would be used to fund public infrastructure projects. While JXN is not technically MMT, since it is not being issued by a sovereign government, the project does represent an early attempt to use blockchain technology to finance public goods. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin could also play a role in MMT-based systems. While Bitcoin is often thought of as a speculative asset, it could also be used as a form of government-issued currency. MMT could theoretically be used to create new Bitcoins, or to pay developers to work on Bitcoin projects. MMT is a complex topic, and it remains to be seen whether it could be used to fund cryptocurrency projects. However, it is an interesting idea, and it will be fascinating to see how MMT develops in the coming years. Thanks for reading. One of the key insights of MMT is that money is not a scarce resource. Rather, it is created by the government whenever it spends. This means that the government can never run out of money. MMT also explains how inflation works and why it's not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, MMT suggests that moderate inflation can be beneficial for an economy. Given all of this, I think MMT has a lot to offer when it comes to understanding crypto assets. After all, crypto assets are also created by the government, i.e., the developers, and are not subject to the same scarcity constraints as fiat currencies. Moreover, crypto assets may be better equipped to handle inflation than fiat currencies, given their limited supply. For all these reasons, I believe MMT can help us better understand crypto assets and their potential role in the economy. So, if the government prints more currency, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's more money in circulation. MMT also says that taxes and bond issuance are unnecessary. This is because MMT believes that government spending creates its own demand, and so bond issuance only serves to mop up excess government spending. The result is that MMT would lead to higher inflation, and so many in the crypto world believe it would be bad for Bitcoin. MMT is a complex topic, but it's one that's worth understanding if you want to stay ahead of the curve in the world of finance. As you can see, MMT can be complicated, but it's not complicated to subscribe, so click subscribe now. Some crypto enthusiasts believe that MMT could be good for Bitcoin. They argue that if the government were to print more money, it would devalue fiat currencies, making Bitcoin more attractive as a store of value. Additionally, they believe that MMT could lead to more government spending on infrastructure projects, which would boost demand for Bitcoin. Overall, MMT is a controversial topic, and it remains to be seen whether it will have a positive or negative impact on Bitcoin. MMT is still largely untested, but its potential implications for the world of finance are significant. It will be interesting to see how it develops in the years to come. MMT could provide a way to stabilize the value of cryptocurrencies by tying them to the government's ability to create money. In addition, MMT could help to expand the use of cryptocurrencies by making it easier for businesses and individuals to accept them as payment. MMT is still just a theory, and it remains to be seen whether it will ever be put into practice. But if it is, it could have a big impact on the world of finance, and even on the way we use money. One big critic of MMT is crypto enthusiast and billionaire investor, Mark Cuban. He thinks that MMT will lead to inflation and says that people should invest in Bitcoin instead. Cuban says that Bitcoin is a better store of value than fiat currency because it is scarce and there is a limited supply. He thinks that MMT will eventually cause the US dollar to collapse and believes that people should start investing in crypto now so they can protect their wealth. Only time will tell if MMT will be successful or if it will lead to inflation, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Thanks financial friends, keep investing, subscribe and stay tuned.